Yeah.
Okay. Red numbers.
That's it.
I know what that means.
You know what that means.
All right. It only took a little while to set up here. Mike's got some relatively new equipment here.
It's the same equipment, just like it's well traveled now.
I might have to take over the audio components of this thing. I just think you're really blowing it.
This podcast was nice while it lasted.
I just know the yellow thing goes in the yellow thing and the white thing goes in the white thing, and then you hit power and you're playing Nintendo 64.
Yeah, that's
That's how it works.
That's how it works. This is basically the same thing.
Get your shit together, man.
Yeah.
So we're here. We're back. We're
back.
You're back from Greece.
We're well traveled. We went halfway around the world and then didn't go all the way and came back.
I enjoyed a quarter of it. I had a good time. I had a great time.
You already admitted you had a good time on the last one.
I had to admit I had a good time on the whole thing. It was a good deal. Yeah. Only a couple things went wrong. I bitched about the Lucky Lake place, I think.
Yeah, you said you wanted to bitch more about it, too.
I do want to bitch more about it, but now the wound is closed at this point. The wound is not still open about it.
No?
But, I was hurt. I remember
extremely butthurt over it.
Oh my god, it was such a bummer. Is this? I don't know what I said about it last time. Did I go into how it was just a bunch of stoners that didn't want to do anything?
Yeah, I think your expectations were this is going to be the best rager I've ever been to.
I thought it was going to be a huge party. I thought it was going to be a wicked party of just different tourists from all over the place, and it was just a bunch of Amsterdamians. Just stoned out of their minds. No one
it's local people, from Amsterdam.
I think it was. They're all speaking Dutch and whatnot, and but the heartbreaker was there was a big common area with chessboard, board games, had a TV that didn't work and stuff like that. But it was supposed to be a common area where everyone would socialize indoors.
Yeah,
it's kind of like a gazebo thing, and. There's 3 or 4 people in there, and at one point I was talking to them, and they're just like, "Hey, you know what, man? We just kind of want to hang out quietly." And I'm like,
"Are these the guys you told me about? Guys that were playing a game. The game that I brought was called Exploding Kittens."
That was a different group of people. So the first group kind of just asked me to leave, and I'm like, "Yeah, I understand. I totally," because they were all so stoned, and they're the only ones that would.
Yeah,
they weren't all the way there yet. They were just getting stoned when I found them, and then. So by the time they were really stoned, they're just like, "Yeah, we just gotta hang out quietly, man." I'm like, I totally understand. Sorry to bother you. So I left them and then just walked around like Charlie Brown for 10 minutes, just staring at the ground, all fucking. No one's around. No one's doing anything. Yeah. And then I see some 2 resort workers and maybe 2 guests or friends of them or something. They're sitting down. They're playing this game, Exploding Kittens.
Yeah.
So I walk over and I observe the game for 30 seconds, and I go, okay, none of them are speaking English, but they are speaking it. They're interjecting the odd English word.
Yeah.
And so I know they can understand me. So I just go, you think I can get in on the next round? And they just look up, and they all just look at each other and then just look back at the game again and just don't acknowledge me. Maybe if we ignore him.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, no response at all.
No response. So I was like, okay. So I watched them play a full round of it. But a full round of it with 4 people maybe takes 20 minutes or something.
Yeah, no.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Watch them play a full round of it, and I think I get the hang of it there. And so I ask a question okay, so that one's bad. This is good. You got to match those. And then they're just no. And they just ignore me.
Full on ignore.
So then another round passes. So that's another 20 minutes. I'm just standing over the picnic table, mind you, this entire time. Just leaning up against a post, offering, you guys want a beer or anything? Then again, just totally ignoring me. So then that round expires, and I go, okay, so you think I get in on this one? And again, they just ignore me. And I was just like, oh, dude. And then I start walking back to the trailer, and everyone else is passed out in hammocks or laying in the grass, and it's 10 o'clock at night. Everyone's quiet. You can't, you don't even want to talk loud. It was just such a bummer.
we on our weekends or whatever, we raged.
We came to rage. Yeah. And that was, I don't know what day of the week it was, but either way, I was just so bummed out about what that was. Because I had in my head that it was going to be there's a bash.
Yeah. Everyone gets their own trailer. Rage all night.
And there was and the pictures they had a nice big, I don't think they had a fire pit, but they just had a huge common area. They had a bus there that they would serve breakfast out of and everything.
Yeah.
Which was ruined too because it was completely full. There's so many goddamn bees or wasps, yellow jackets. I've never seen this many in my life. They would put out apples or whatever.
So you go there for breakfast.
But what they would do, they would cut up apples.
Yeah.
To distract them from the food. So they'd put apples around the perimeter of the place, which wasn't working. It was just attracting more to the area.
Yeah, from a half mile away, they're coming to the place.
And then they'd also put burnt coffee grounds everywhere, which would repel them.
Okay.
Everything you're trying to eat had a wasp on it. Everything.
Oh, God.
The only thing
I
I
would
could eat was a
freak
roll.
out.
It was so gross.
I'd be
man.
sitting inside the trailer just being like, when do we leave?
Yeah. No, I would go get the food, and as like I got about to go into the trailer, I'd like wave them away, and I'm petrified of these animals. Too.
Yeah.
I'd wave them away, and then finally they'd be gone. I'd open the door, slam the door behind me in the trailer, so I could eat something finally.
That even just listening to you talk about that just like freaks me out.
Oh yeah, and anything had like saran wrap on top of it because bugs would just fly right in.
Yeah,
and you'd see like they'd put out glasses of orange juice and stuff like that, or apple juice, so they drown in it, and it would be thick, just crawling. Like they only bees. It was just a holocaust of bees, just all crawling around on each other, like a pint glass completely full of them. It was so gross, man. So yeah. Fuck that place. Lucky Lake.
Sounds like the wound is still open.
Yeah. Well, you made me get my fur all up about it again. God damn.
Oh man.
And then you were gone for an additional 2 weeks after I came home.
Yeah. So after we recorded, I think a day or two before you guys left.
And no big news out of you from that. Just went smooth, and then we'll move right on. What else is new?
yeah. No, I got engaged.
Yes, you did.
Yes, I did.
Very romantic stuff happened out there.
Yeah, but other than that, we went to Santorini, which is supposed to be like super romantic and whatever. And we had a very good.
Supposed to be.
It's supposed to be, but it's like fucking Disneyland. There's like fucking people everywhere. It's just like
yeah. Is it because of those
it's just,
ABBA that ABBA movie? What is it? Mamma Mia?
Maybe I don't know. Like I've been there. I'd been there before, and like I didn't remember it being so crazy. There with my cousin Dave, and we were like, "This place rules."
Yeah,
And if I was there with like 2 or 3 other buddies, or like a group of friends, maybe like 4 or 5 friends, it'd be a blast.
Yeah,
because it's just a rager. It's just but. As far as like finding time to yourself, you can't.
Yeah,
it's just like,
you can't just sit down
on
the bench and take a break.
Yeah, the second night we were there, we were like, let's go like away from the whole strip of everything, just to like. And we found like this one little tiny secluded town that was like had a courtyard with a restaurant that wasn't busy, and it was nice.
Well, that'll
like,
do it.
We ended up finding like good shit. Mm-hmm. We found one beach that was
So you were in a tourist trap before, essentially.
Basically, it was just it's just
you got to find your own way out of those. We kept doing that too when I was out there. Like Prague wasn't necessarily full of tourist traps, but Greece was. Like Athens, full. It was.
Yeah,
you actually get lost and stuff, so that was tough.
Oh yeah, you walk around the Plaka and stuff, and you're screwed. We ended up doing that actually on the way back. It was like Kate and my mom and I. I'm like. We walked up and down, and like it was just so easy to find shit that you wanted. I was like, oh, I want one of these. And I'm spending like way more money than we probably should have. But I was like, well, I don't know. Like I'm not gonna find this anywhere else, so I'm gonna get it.
Me and Bree spent nothing out there.
No?
Nothing. Oh God, we were so frugal. It was.
But you guys are pretty much. You guys are like that here. Like that's not like it's something new.
If we were with another couple out there or something, they knew what we were doing the whole time. Like if they were with us the whole time, they would have been. You people are disgusting. It's like I went down to the continental breakfast and I sold us a bag of rolls for the day. We don't get to buy dinner, and she's like, yes. we're traveling. You're supposed to like go and eat the cuisine, maybe get a bottle of wine here and there, and it's like. I don't know. You got any Canadian cigarettes and like I don't know what kind of beer? You got like a Coors Light back there. It's like, I'm just a complete loser. This is the worst traveler of all time.
Yeah, the funniest part is that you're both like that, so it works.
Yeah, and I didn't realize like I do. I don't sound like I'm actually cheap. I will spend money on fun.
Yeah,
but I don't care about eating, so I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not going to spend a bunch of money on eating that, so I'm considered to be cheap for that reason. But it's really not. I don't give a shit about it. Give me a $2 hot dog, and I'm as content as anyone that bought a $50 steak.
Yeah. So, if it doesn't mean like I love good food.
I can give a
enjoy
shit.
it.
Yeah, so.
And if you don't give a shit, then that's
No, and I drink cheap. Like I'll go drink $3 draft beers. In Prague and just suffer the consequences later. Which there weren't any. I never got a hangover out there. Like I think they must be doing something different.
There's way less preservatives and everything out there.
Probably.
I think your body also like when you're on vacation, it just allows you to do a little bit more. I think.
Nah, that's not always been my experience. But I've the pendulum swung both ways. Like I've been invincible on vacation before. It's like I can't believe I'm not hungover, and I'm hammering beers at like 9 a.m.
Yeah.
And other vacations where I just like have one hangover that never goes away the whole trip, and I just suck, and I'm the worst guest. I went to a destination wedding in Jamaica.
Yeah.
And I was just a fucking bummer the whole time. People just, what's wrong with you? I'm just like, I'm sorry. I'll just go back to the room. And I just like,
really?
There was one day where I just stayed and I watched all 3 Jurassic Parks and all 3 Die Hards.
That's a good day, though.
That's vacation.
That's a good day. Those are great movies.
Yeah. And I would just come back. I would come back out and I'd just be like, what are you doing now? I was like, I gotta get some dinner. They're like, are you going to hang out today? I'm like, no, Die Hard's about to kick on in like half an hour. So I thought I'd just get something to eat and come back. Go back to the room. What's the matter with you? I'm just like, shut up. My vacation too.
I don't really know, but that's what I want to do.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. It's repetitive, but I run out of endorphins at some point.
Yeah.
Where drinking doesn't do anything for me anymore, and I'm just sitting there.
And that was like Mexico when you had a little freak out.
That was different. That was I wish I could have gotten drunk that night. That was nuts.
Yeah.
Have we talked about that on this before?
I don't think so.
My first panic attack.
I don't think so.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
I think we must have talked about this. Where I went on a big bender. I was working with my brother in Vancouver. I went and visited my brother in Vancouver for 2 weeks. Or just under 2 weeks. It might have been like 12 days or something. And he was taking days off and we were just getting hammered all the time, or at least I was. And I got a call from my friends. And you were going on this trip, right? Is this when I met you?
Yeah.
I got a call out there and they're like, hey, we got an odd number here and we'd like to fill out the numbers so that one of our friends doesn't have to buy a whole room. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, that sucks for you guys. They're like, no, we want you to fly from Vancouver and meet us in Mexico. And I'm like, yeah, I guess. I ended up flying from Vancouver to Toronto and doing I think like a 18-hour layover in the Toronto airport.
And then catching the plane. You caught our plane with us.
I think I did, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was miserable. And then got down there, and then I started drinking with you guys again. So now it's like a whole new energy, a bunch of group of guys. So I'm on like day 5 out there, which is like now day 17 of a bender.
Yeah.
And on day 5, I'm like,
let's go back to day 1 of Mexico.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where I was chasing what I called a Mexican raccoon. Is that what it was?
Yeah, I don't know. You're the only one that saw it.
It was a pink elephant, yeah. And, ran straight into a tree, just like broke my nose and like discarded my face and broke my glasses. So I had no glasses for the trip.
This is before it's even dark out.
Oh, yeah. This was like, I was only there for like 3 hours at this point.
Yeah.
And I wasn't even with anyone when it happened. I think it was like with one dude, and I just took off into the bush.
Yeah.
Running full speed. So then I had my prescription sunglasses with me for the rest of the trip. So that's all I could wear for the rest of the trip was prescription sunglasses. I looked like a complete idiot. And whenever it got dark, it would be like a parrot that you put the drape over. I would just fall asleep in the dark all the time. I just sit at the dinner table just...
Who's fucking Bernie over there?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Everyone's calling me Lomax. Bernie Lomax. Weekend at Bernie's. Yeah.
Fucking Lomax just passing out.
Well, because it was worse, because I could take my glasses off and just get terrified because I can't find my friends in a place where I've never been before.
Yeah.
Or wear them and just be, faintly blind. Like it's
like, which blind would you like to be?
It's so bad. I'd have to I would have to get everyone's voices, know where all the sounds are coming from, then I'd get it. But someone would go for drinks and someone would come back and I don't know who I'm sitting with anymore because I just can't put it together again. It's freaking me out. I'd sit down with like other families and shit.
That was a pretty good trip, that one, man.
Yeah.
I don't think I've partied like that since then.
Yeah, that's where I think I declared like the greatest day of my life or something. Where
oh man, there was the day at the pool when we were ordering Donald Ducks, which I don't even know if that's a real drink or not.
No, I think it's some Brooklyn invention.
Yeah, we were ordering like I remember we were kind of fucking with the bartender. We were like, "Yo, we'll have 30 tackle boxes."
Yeah, Let me get a Korean gay bar and just whatever. But it would just be like, how do you make that? It's just white booze and orange juice and lemonade. They'd be like, okay, and and we say the same thing every time.
Somebody
can I get a gooey giant?
Somebody asked for 100 White Russians.
Yeah,
and the guy was like, no. And then someone handed him a $20 American. And he was like, okay. Yeah. Started pouring. I think he got to like 30, and we were like,
That'll do.
That'll do. That'll be good.
I remember did that at the bar and everyone got mad at me. Like a bunch of strangers got mad at me. I go, can I get 100 shots? And he goes, what? Yeah, 100 shots. He's like, no. I go, put the 20 down. He goes, what kind do you want? I'm like, blue. We're drinking blue today. All right. So they bring a tray of 100 blue shots over to our table. I just look at everyone like, Sorry, guys. That's what we're doing today. It's a blackout day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So well, that day we left the pool.
Yeah.
I was blacked right out, and I ended up, Gord carried me back to the room. This was like 3 p.m. There was a destination wedding there, and me and Gord got in the wedding photos with the bride. And I'm like, I got one sandal half off my foot. I got like a bathing suit. I'm cross-eyed. My clothes are.
I don't think they made it into like a laminated album or anything.
Oh no! Well, they were. I was like, oh, no, let me in the photo.
In the cutting room floor,
and they were like, yeah, get in here. And like, they were holding me up. Like, I couldn't even stand up in the photo. It was terrible.
That was day 2 or 3 or something, maybe.
Oh yeah, probably around 3 or 4.
That bender continued. And then I insisted that everyone buy Coco Bongo tickets.
Yes, which it was your idea.
Yeah, because I said it's like when I was in Cancun and I was 22, I was like, "This is the greatest party ever."
Yeah.
So we're always doing this. I don't know if it's still.
We bought tickets for the last night we were in Mexico because it was going to be a big send off.
Oh man, and it was like 70 American or something too, wasn't it? Like a good chunk of change to do it.
I think it might have been like $50.
I made everyone pay it. I was like, I bought one too and everything.
Yeah.
And then it came to the day of, and it was the morning, and I was shaking. My hands were shaking beyond like I was doing jazz hands, like full jazz hands. And I just couldn't believe it. And I sit down at breakfast, and I can't even like bring a glass of water to my lips, and I'm really freaked out. I don't know what the problem is. What I don't know at this time, this is alcohol withdrawal. I don't know that.
Yeah.
I just think there's something like wrong with my heart or what's going on. Something's like,
I guess I'm dying.
I guess I'm not drinking today because look what's going on. And you guys are like, yeah, you better not drink.
Yeah.
So you guys.
Was this the day after we were out on the boat all day too? This probably.
It might have been. Yeah. That might have been. It probably was because I got really sick on that boat too.
Yeah.
So it probably had something to do with that too. But anyway, yeah, you guys. As the day goes on, I just can't leave the room, and. As it comes down to like 9 o'clock at night, I'm having a full-on panic attack. My first panic attack of all time. I don't know what's going on. I got 911 dialed on the phone, sitting there like with the phone receiver turned up, and then I'm just trying to breathe and understand what's going on. And then this movie, Born on the 4th of July, comes on with Tom Cruise.
Yeah,
and I thought I knew every Tom Cruise movie, so I'm like, no, my mind's making up a movie. Like, this is really weird. Like, this movie doesn't exist.
You never heard of this movie?
Never heard of this movie. Never knew it existed, anything.
I didn't know this.
Which is strange because, like, I've watched a lot of shows and, like, they'll parody the movie and stuff like that, but I didn't know they were parodying the movie. So, like, yeah, I was absolutely freaking out. Just totally losing it. So now I'm, like, trashing the room. I got the mattresses flipped over. I got a TV out on the balcony because I'm scared of the TV now. I am just losing my mind. And luckily, you guys came home at, like, 10:30 because it was a bust because it was resort night.
Well, it wasn't so much of a bust. So, like, I remember we were trying to talk you into it, and usually we would just call you a bitch and tell you to come out. But, like, the look in your eye was like, no, you're staying. That's definitely not happening.
And
like,
I was bummed out about it. Like,
and you were sad.
Yeah,
you were sad. Yeah. We took cabs in. We went to Coco Bongos. And, like, 7 guys, end of the trip, we're partied right out. Yeah. So we're just, like, we're sitting there. They start the show, which is, like... I don't remember what happened first or last or whatever, but there was like a guy rode a Harley on stage, Beetlejuice flew out from behind us, Spider-Man swung in for a bit with Oscar the Grouch. Like, it was just
Oscar the Grouch?
Yeah, like, it was just like...
Like the guy in the garbage can from Sesame Street?
Yeah, it was just like any random costume they could possibly find was just showing up. The Green Goblin was there.
Yeah, they did the Green Goblin, and they did Superman and Spider-Man and everything, but Oscar the Grouch...
I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe, I don't know. I don't remember. I remember there being I remember Beetlejuice being there.
Snuffleupagus was there, man. It was a blast.
But all of us were sitting there watching this, and we're like... Fucking McD said this was a blast.
Because it was, but you guys were there for resort night apparently too.
Well, I don't know what the difference was. Like, and the thing was, is I was like, this I bet is amazing, but we're just so party and we're tired. We hadn't drank all day because we felt like shit, and we show up and we're like, what the fuck is this? So a friend Adam and I, we were like, screw this. But we order 4 shots. Each, and we're just like, there's the only way we're gonna get through this because like we just spent this much on tickets. We're here now,
and it's inclusive. The booze is inclusive. You got a wristband on.
I don't know if it was or not.
No,
I don't think it was. I think you got like a couple drinks or something. And they would be carrying around those blue bottles of that weird. It was like
Vex.
No, it was like that shot, but it's like a blue liquid.
Rev.
Yeah, maybe it was red. No, Sical, or I don't know.
Blue Caraco. Yeah.
Something fucking whatever.
Yeah.
And so we're just like, screw it. Like, this isn't going to work out unless we get a little tipsy. So, like, we just did 4 shots. Boom, boom, boom. Get a drink. And that was, like, upstairs somewhere. We walked down to meet everyone else because we're like, well, no one wants to leave yet. They wanted to see it through, so we're going to go do this. We went to do these shots. We come back, and everyone's like, fuck this. This sucks. Let's go. And we're hammered because we're like, oh, like, I was having a blast by the time we got down here. Like, I was ready to stick it out. Yeah. Like, so then we ended up back at, like,
you guys did the right
10:30, 11 o'clock or something.
It was the years previous I went there, and my friend Rob what happens is it's a trapeze act, but it's like it's a one pivot point for the trapeze, I guess. So they go around the room. Yeah. So Spider-Man's going in a big circle, and then Superman's chasing him. And I guess Superman just kind of lost momentum, and he tried to push off a pillar or something like that, and he flew straight at Rob, booted Rob in the head. Rob goes toppling over. It's like he actually took a real kick to the head, like blew his drink out, hit the ground, like got back up. He's like, "Whoa, that was a big one." Just got back to it. Because most people would have been like, "I'm down. I'm not getting up for a while."
That's hilarious.
Which is like the main motivator. Is like, we got to go there again because my friends might get kicked to the head again.
I mean, I can see it being fun, and I'm bummed that we left because it seemed like it was going to be a blast. But I would recommend if someone were to go to Coco Bongos again in Cancun. I don't know if it's still there.
Do some shots. Well, it probably got blown away.
And go on like the first or second day of your trip.
Yeah.
Like, don't wait until the end when you're tired and fucking ready to go home. Because I've never made it to the end of an all-inclusive and been like, I don't want to go home. I'm like, I fucking hate this. Let's go home.
Yeah, I think every time. I've beat myself up on every one of those. Every time.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to go. The only mistake I went for a 5-day one once. And that was a huge mistake.
Why?
Well, my friends were going on a 7-day. I was dead broke, but I'm like, I'm not missing out on this. So I went for a 5-day. And my friend John decided, you know what, I'll do the 5 days too. And so
the first 5 or the
first 5.
Yeah.
The first 5 days. So what happens is me and John are on a separate flight from everybody else.
Yeah.
Because we're on the 5-day. We arrive, and the other guys should be just like 3 or 4 hours behind us. They're not showing up. We can't get a hold of anyone just because of the international phone calls. We don't know what's going on. They don't show up until 2 days later. Their flight got delayed and then delayed and delayed.
Oh,
and they just kept screwing them over, and they didn't get any money out of it. So they showed up just furious, out of their minds, angry.
Yeah.
And so me and John are out 2 days without them. So we only have like 2 more nights with them now.
Yeah.
That's all we got. We didn't go to the beach. Me and John didn't go to the beach because we're just 2 guys. We're like, well, we'll just sit around the pool here, watch this, look at that. We're checking out the resort itself. We never made it down to the beach. The other guys show up. We can't talk them into going down to the beach. We went to Mexico and never saw the beach the entire time. me and John, we're like packing our bags. We're walking around the plaza, like walking past the room with our bags and shit and our towels and everything. We're like, what's going on? Where you guys going? Like, oh, we're going down to the beach, man. I'm like, you fucking assholes. Like, I was bugging them the whole time. Let's go to the beach. Like, nope. So
I think we only went to the beach one day that time that we went on that trip.
It's possible. I always go looking for the beach volleyball, though. So.
Yeah. I can't remember. I think we might have played some of that. I don't remember.
Oh, we definitely did. Well, I mean, I can't say for that trip, but.
I don't remember,
Yeah. What were we talking about, though? Why did we get on that? You got a panic attacks?
Yeah, we're going to tell the story of your first panic attack.
Okay, I did it. I did it. Trashed the room. Oh, and you guys got back at like 10:30 or something. And luckily, Jimmy Kilpatrick knew what was going on. He knew I was having alcohol withdrawal. And he just like dragged me into his room and like force-fed me like 3 beers. And I was like, oh, I'm fine. That's it. I just had to like wean it off. Good. Yeah. I didn't drink for the rest of the trip, I think. I'm going to assume I didn't.
Yeah.
That was mental.
I think that was the last night.
It was, I think, second to last night or something.
Yeah.
But I don't know for sure. Who cares?
Whatever.
It was a good time. I got a hand job from Gary Busey in that on that trip. This lady looked like remember the day we sat in the pool, the day in the pool? That was insane. That lady, we have photos with her. I don't know where the photos are now, but yeah, she was a rough customer. And there's this husband of hers. He was like, like a biker bandana on and like
I forgot all that.
Do you remember this?
I vaguely remember.
And they had like flame tattoos going up his arms and everything. And like
and that woman did look like Gary Busey.
She was smoking cigarettes in the pool and stuff, so we're bugging her for cigarettes, and we just ended up like she ends up like flirting with us, and she's like 55.
Yeah.
And she won't leave me alone now. She's like hanging off me, and she's hanging off Mark too, and Mark just ends up like scurrying away, and she just crams her hand straight down my shorts, and as I pull her hand out of my shorts, and she crams it up my shorts, up the leg, her other hand. So as I'm working one hand out, she get the other hand in, and then another hand in, another hand out, and his husband, I don't know, he's probably like 250.
Yeah.
They just sitting there, just red eyes staring at me. I'm like, I can't. What do you want me? Like, I'm gonna die. I'm telling you, your husband's gonna kill me. Get out of here. Like, what am I can't push this old lady now. So I'm just trying to like, just terrifying. She's like smoking.
She had like smoke hanging out of her mouth.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Just like my buddy's mom, well, the niece. So yeah, that was a highlight. There was that weird barfing I did. I don't know if I couldn't make it to the bathroom, and I ended up just barfing next to this like nice family. They're sitting at a table near the pool, and I just went and like barfed right next to their table.
That was on that Mexico trip?
Yeah, it was really bad. It was very rude. I didn't do it for like.
Is that the worst barf you've ever had?
I don't know. It was pretty bad barfs. Like the worst barfs I've had are like the really stoned ones. If I've gotten stoned while I'm drunk.
Oh, and then you get this like spinny.
And then I'll barf like food, like painful, like Play-Doh machine food. That's bad.
Yeah.
But no, if it's like liquid barf, these barfs, I did that barf standing upright, like one hand on a pole, like one leg crossed, like Charlie Chaplin, and just like, I'm really, really sorry. And just barfing, standing completely upright. I'm really, really sorry. I'm so sorry. And then Jimmy comes over, he's like, "What are you doing, man?" I'm like, "I'm sorry." And just getting it all out and going back into the pool again.
Back for a couple more Donald Ducks.
Yeah. If anyone's interested, Donald Duck is just clear alcohol with orange juice and lemon juice or whatever you can throw in there. But yeah.
There's no real ingredients.
They do the trick, though. Yeah, because people just give you poison. Yeah. I was hanging out with those guys in Brooklyn all day, going up to our friend Brock's cottage, and he was just, like, lacing these drinks. There's vicious, vicious drinks. And orange juice just hides everything when it comes to that clear alcohol. As long as it's not, like, clear rum, because clear rum you can really taste, but it was gin and vodka and anything else.
Anything citrusy.
Moonshine they'd have up there and stuff, and you just poison. But you have no idea what you're consuming, and I was out of my mind. I got a bunch of stitches in the back of my head up there, actually. Suffered a level 2 concussion.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you stay up there, or did you leave and find that
I had to get driven to the Port Perry Hospital by a very angry Chris Trinkunis. Thank you, Chris. He was very upset. And then he called my mom from the hospital, and my mom had to come pick me up. But actually, it was my friend Matt had to pick up my mom because my mom was too upset to go pick me up because she couldn't drive at night, and she was also too anxious. So my friend Matt, who doesn't really know my mom, had to go pick up my mom and drive my mom to the hospital to see her drunk son, who got so flop drunk that he fell on, and I bashed my head on a rock, my back of my head onto a rock.
Wow.
And my head was just like a super soaker, just squirting blood. Like a couple feet away.
Oh, my God.
So they wrapped me up and sent me down to the hospital. I had to get like a CAT scan and all this shit. And they're just like, don't sleep for a while. And
that's what sucks about cottages, man. I think it was Blair that broke his
collarbone. That was so his fault, though. I tried to stop him. I remember I stopped him by the handlebars.
Oh, yeah.
Before he took off on that dirt bike. Yeah. I grabbed the handlebars and I'm like, "You are hammered. Don't do this."
The girl Jimmy was dating at the time. Yeah, Jimmy. And she just got there.
Yeah, and we just put him in the car.
Put him in the car, and she turned around and drove to Bancroft.
Yep, and bring back some smokes. Never wrote on some cardboard. Everyone wrote their smoke orders on some cardboard.
And she brought back smoke. Yeah. Oh, my God. She did with a smile, too. It was weird.
She had her moments. She definitely had her moments.
Fuck.
I need to order a beer from Bree. You want to pause it for a sec?
Yeah.
What's up with this guy's ears?
I didn't want to say anything. You need some new headphones.
Yeah, I guess we're on podcast, 9 or 10 here?
10.
And I'm using the same dumb fucking headphones.
Yep.
Yeah.
I found them in a box.
Mm-hmm. I've had 2 friends ask me, like, I fell behind. What episode should we listen to? And I'm like, I don't know. Are they all the same? Is the one that you like more than others? Is there one that
I don't know. Yeah, like I don't know. I try to put a little synopsis underneath of what we might talk about. It doesn't come close to being accurate.
No, how could it?
But yeah, because it's just rambling craziness.
Okay, so ideas for a future podcast.
Yep,
we've run it past a friend. Well, I think a friend suggested it. I can't remember what exactly it was, but it's a good idea. I like it. Apocalyptic scenarios.
Yeah.
Right? We come up with apocalyptic scenarios. Maybe we have a guest on, see what they would do.
We
don't really know how we want to construct it yet, but I think it'd be a really fun idea. You know?
I think it's a good idea, and we could even do it for each other. But I think what I was imagining in my head was, say, I like stack my bunker with stuff. I have a bunker, like a post-apocalyptic bunker.
You currently have one of these?
No, this is like I fantasy make one.
Okay.
And I'm like, this is what I'd have.
Yeah.
This is the type of these are the type of things it would shelter me from.
Yeah.
And then you have a predetermined apocalypse that's already been made, and you're like, okay, here's what it's about.
Okay.
And then see if they would, and then we debate whether it would actually hold up, or for how long.
Yeah.
So like, you could create a post-apocalyptic world where like it's Waterworld. You know what I mean? Like that's post-apocalyptic Waterworld.
I already know how to.
If I had a bunker that's not waterproof, I'm fucked.
No. I know how to get through all that anyway.
Waterworld?
No, not Waterworld. Waterworld's the only tough one.
How would you get out of Waterworld?
You just gotta find land. That's the only thing you do in Waterworld. You're screwed. That was dumb. There was like mermen and
there was like evolution. Have you seen that movie?
yeah, people who evolved gills.
Yeah, well, he did. He's the fish man.
Yeah, behind his ears or in his neck or
That
something.
movie rules.
Okay, I'll watch it again.
You gotta watch it. Yeah, Dennis Hopper as an evil guy, and he just smokes the whole time.
Yeah. So where they get? So
He just
they have
crushes,
no
smokes.
natural resources anywhere. They can't grow. Like there's no water in the world,
He hoarded
but they got a lot of smokes.
tons of smokes, and he's got all the oil, so they can run those
Yeah, the
sweet
oil's
jet skis.
easy to get a hold of too, right?
Yeah,
No
he's
water,
got a
though.
big tanker, a big Exxon tanker full of oil.
Yeah, that's they apparently they blew a lot of money on that one, right? That was
Oh yeah, it was like the biggest flop of all time.
and it
I
was,
think.
it was the biggest budget for any movie of the time too, right?
Something like that. Yeah.
like which was I think probably like 400 million.
And then
which
when
is like
the
nothing
one
now.
kid had like the map to land on her back.
That's where you put a map.
Yeah, tattooed on a kid's back.
Because the kids aren't going to grow, and the map is.
Yeah.
The map will work. This will work when this kid's 20.
You got to suspend some disbelief with that one, but I enjoyed it.
Good. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take another shot at it.
I mean-
I think I saw it when I was probably 10. Is that when it was out?
Really?
I don't know.
man.
That was it. That's the only time
If you
I
want to
saw it.
watch if you're feeling like a kind of shitty movie, it's shitty, but it's shitty in all the most amazing ways.
I watched a great movie the other day. It's that movie, Your Highness, again, with
that
Danny
is
McBride.
good. That is a good
And
one.
there's a line in there I forgot about, and it is easily the greatest line. Danny McBride, his character has this like assistant. I think his name's like Corey or something.
Yeah.
And he just totally abuses him, treats him like shit all the time.
It's like medieval times, right?
Yeah. And they're sitting in a bar or whatever, and Danny McBride's just going on about how miserable he is and all this shit. And then the little assistant goes, "It's my birthday today." And Danny McBride goes, "Fuck that."
Never been more
And it is beautiful
dismissed.
because he just said it. He said it with such depression in his voice. It's my birthday today.
Yeah.
No one cares.
Fuck that.
Fuck that.
Oh man, that was a good one actually.
Oh yeah, fantastic flick.
When you came back, were you pretty jet lagged when you came back from this trip?
No, I handled it well, but I took an extra week off work.
Oh yeah,
I got back on a Tuesday night, so I
Yeah.
wasn't going to go to work on Wednesday.
Yeah,
So I just said, like, well, I might as well take the rest of the week off anyway then.
and just go on Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was pretty awesome. I did Kay and I did our best to stay up, and so we did all right. We ended up it was hell trying to get out of the airport. The day we came in, it was just fucking bonkers. There was no organization.
You just
at
mean like the
all.
way the drive and pickup place, like where they.
Yeah, we had to go through. You had to go and fill out the form on the computer, and then you had to go through customs. You had to.
Me and Bree are totally rude during that shit, and we barge, we run,
Yeah.
barge, we beat the lines, we do all kinds of rude shit. We run through that stuff. People would be like, how do we work this thing? Like, shut up, you're on your own, old lady. And we just push through people, get it
Right.
done, because you will spend an extra 2 hours there if you don't get ahead
Oh
of that
man, it's crazy. Did you check your baggage?
Yep.
Yeah, you checked it, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, we did all that. What the biggest fucking pain in the ass? Well, one of the list of them. We go to get our baggage, and we're sitting there, and we're waiting for baggage to come around, and there's
Ours took an hour.
it's like we're waiting, and then some guy's like, oh. There's a whole stack of them. Some guy over there is pulling them off the conveyor belt. He's just stacking them up over on the side. And we're like, I've been staying here fucking 20 minutes. Like,
This is Toronto Airport?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
In Toronto Airport, and we're just like, are you fucking kidding me?
I've had that happen in, like, foreign countries, but I've never had it happen in Toronto. That's horrible.
And then finally, like, they play an announcement, like, please be sure to check beside some of the baggages have been taken off. This is like, we've been standing here 25 minutes. And, you just got off, like, a over 11-hour flight. You don't want to be fucking screwing around.
Oh, yeah. I know. Yeah, we waited at the turnstile there for an hour. And then when you get out, the Toronto airport is the worst directed airport outside, where cars have to come pick you up. There was a total lack of security guards, or just a lack of respect for the rules. You can't just pull over anywhere and get people. You can't do that. And if you do, you have to be fully pulled over. You can't just leave your tail end.
People have to be able to get around you.
It was the rudeness of people out there was insane.
Did you get a cab or a limo, or did you have someone pick you up?
We had Breezak come get us.
Yeah.
Which we should have just gotten in a cab and got the hell out of there, because
we got a limo. Like, we got the airport limo, whatever. Not like an actual limo.
You didn't have the group with you, just the two of you.
Just and my mom.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Your mom came back too.
Yeah, my mom was like, I'm not screwing around. I'm getting a limo. Don't worry about anybody else. So.
Oh, okay, cool. So she's home now. We got to get her a card or something.
Yeah, she flew home with us, like the three of us. I didn't have on the way there, I had like some big ass dude like leaning on me the whole flight, and I was like, oh my god. So I was so happy that, like, on the way home, I was in the middle between my mom and Kate. Like, I was gonna see my girlfriend again.
But you're the big dude between two people now. You at least give the big dude.
Yeah,
I think you'd be the guy on the one side. So
I don't know. That's where they want. My mom wanted the aisle. Kate wanted the window. I was like, whatever. I don't care. At least I don't have to worry about like some stinky dude.
Yeah, I had some girl pee her pants next to me, man.
On one of these flights?
No, last trip I did. That was, I think, the way back from Jamaica, maybe. Which was a miserable flight. It was so bad. And this girl, she's in the aisle seat. I'm in the middle. And she wakes up next to me. She had her head down. She was so tiny that she could actually sleep on the dinner tray.
Yeah.
So she's sleeping on that. And she wakes up and she's like horrified. She can't speak English. And she just looks down and she stands up and she is just soaked in piss. All the way down.
Wow.
Everywhere. It's just dripping off.
She's like a child, or?
No, she's probably like 16 or 17. She's speaking English, though, so she's just like horrified.
Wow.
But she doesn't know that maybe she thinks I don't know, but I'm just like, did you pee yourself? And she doesn't know what I'm asking. I'm like, okay. And I just get up, walk past her, and I go to the stewardess. I'm like, the girl next to me peed herself. I'm grabbing another seat. I don't care where it is, if they got first class or something, but I'm moving. Bree's dead asleep. She doesn't know anything about this. So Bree just wakes up next to some girl. Peed herself. I took the rest of the
left
flight.
Her there?
Well, I don't want to wake her up. Like, who wants to be woken up on a flight? Like there could be a donkey shitting on my legs. If I'm sleeping, I'm like, do not disturb me. Like, that's the only sleep I'm getting.
Yeah. So, I accepted the fact that I will not sleep on a plane.
I never thought I could do an 11-hour flight on the way back from Greece. Now that I know I can do that, I can do anything. You just have to segment it. Honestly, you have to be like, okay, after I watch this movie, I can eat a can of Pringles. And after I watch this, or I perform this test, I read this many chapters of a book, I get to do this. And he just set goals.
Yeah, that's all I did.
And that's how you do it, man. And to be well rested, I always had this thing before. I'm like, I won't sleep the day before. That way I'll sleep on the plane. That doesn't work.
That's what I said,
and
too.
And you go insane.
And you go fucking
idea.
nuts. Yeah, no.
Don't ever
get
do
as
that.
much sleep as you possibly can, because you're probably not going to sleep.
You're going to lose your patience, and you can't sleep because everyone's always sticking around. Someone has to sneak past you.
Well, as a smoker, too, you must go fucking nuts.
I'm okay with cigarettes. I'll get grouchy, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know what happens. Like, it'll come to a point on Sundays where typically I don't even smoke on a Sunday because I'll be hungover or whatever, and it'll be like 10 o'clock at night.
After a Friday and Saturday night.
Yeah, I'm just like, yeah. And then, like, at 10 o'clock at night, Brie will, like, grab the remote and turn it down. I'll be like, I'll be out of my mind. And she'll be like, just go smoke a butt. I'm like, oh, yeah, sorry. So yeah,
like
that's
why
my
dog.
blood is boiling, and there's no reason I should get that agitated at something. Like, she'll literally just, like, be wiggling her toes, and I'll be looking at it like, what are you fucking wiggling those toes for? I'm going to rip my head off. Like, just ripping my own eyebrows out of my head. Just, what are you? So, yeah. No brains in my head. It's such a stupid fucking addiction. I can't believe I have it. But
yeah.
I remember I was like a kid being like, you guys are so stupid for smoking. And I would like grab my friend's cigarettes and tear them up.
Really?
And even when they started smoking weed, I'm like, this is bad. Don't do this.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
my
it was like
sister
great
used
son.
to
My
do
friends were
that.
smoking weed, and they were like hotboxing their like parents' bathrooms and
When my
shit.
sister was a kid, she hated smoking. Was always pissed off about it. Now she's full on smoker.
Yeah.
I ended up smoking, like, Kate and I were, when we were there by ourselves, we smelled this cigarette and we were like, man, that fucking smells really good. What the fuck is that? I think we were in a jazz bar. We were in a jazz bar in Santorini.
Yeah.
And we're just like, what fucking smoke is that guy smoking? It smells fucking great.
It's like clove cigarettes or something?
No, it was like some tobacco, and he was rolling his own, put his own filters in it. It smelled like a cigar.
Yeah.
And so we're like, hey man, can we get one of those? Like, can we buy one or whatever? Like, you know, just to try it. And like, I ended up smoking that, and I was like, oh fuck, that's fucking good. And then we ended up buying like a pack of like roll your own fucking tobacco, and I was loving it.
I would lose discipline if I got that shit though. I'd just be making big white paper stogies. You see that movie like Idiocracy?
Yeah,
I'd be making those,
just massive ones.
Just
3
paper smokes.
I mean, it was good for me because I was like, I'm not going to start just smoking butts because like I can't go back to doing that. That'll just ruin me.
Were you at the point where you're buying packs and everything?
Oh, yeah, I used to smoke.
Did you really? God.
Yeah.
That's so outside your persona as an intelligent fella.
Still, I've done a lot of idiot things in my life.
Shit. See, I moved the mic, and now there we go. That's how it should have been the whole time.
Yeah, you feeling better there?
Yeah, much better. There's a great picture you put up of me on Instagram there with the mic, by the way.
Oh yeah, you look.
I didn't have to have a fish mouth for it. The John Cretchian mouth.
Is it? Yeah, you're getting reeled in. Yeah. I wanted to put out a dare, actually. I dare anyone to find a more beautiful dumpster than the one that I found.
Oh, no shit. Hey, that was insane.
A real beauty.
I saw that. I'm like, well, contest over. Way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's real beauty. If anyone can find one better than that, then...
Yeah.
It did also smell like a dumpster, though.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it was terrible.
You think you'd put that kind of care into a dumpster, you might take a hose to it once in a while.
No, it might have been one of the worst dumpsters I've smelled. So that's why I was like, oh my God, okay, take the picture fast.
Maybe
this
it was
is
the
terrible.
idea that it smells so bad, maybe we should dress it up, people won't mind it so bad.
Yeah, it was like the fancy part of the island.
But it was like really well done. They actually kept like a Louis Vuitton pattern on it.
I don't know, yeah.
It was...
That wasn't the only one. There was like...
Oh, yeah?
Like... Each house kind of had their own dumpster out front, and they were
so
all
you would decorate it then.
Yeah, like because all the neighbors were doing it. Yeah. So yeah,
that's smart.
And they were all like fancy because there's these big green fucking dumpsters in the middle or whatever in the middle of the street in front of all these fancy gardens and
you would
gates.
Dress it up then. That'd be nice. I'd love to have a dumpster out front.
Yeah,
dress it up. Yeah,
dress
great.
It was like a mailbox.
Well, just so I could because I hate like I don't know. Well, number one, I don't have a garage.
It kind of makes sense. Like why not throw it out there? And have them pick it up every whatever.
They should have recessed in the ground, like a trap door.
Yeah.
And put your garbage bags in there and close it up. It'd be great for the garbage guys. It'd be great for us.
Well, how do they get it out of the ground, though? They got to lean down in there?
Yeah, you got to lean down in there.
I don't think they'd like that.
We'll get them like those big hay hooks. You know how you move bales of hay with the big hooks?
Oh, that's a great idea. To garbage bags.
Yeah. All right? It's going to change the world.
Just shredding garbage bags.
It's going to change the world.
I don't know. I think it's a smart idea to have like at the end of my mom's street. I don't know what you call it. There, it's like the end of that trail that goes to her house. There's one green dumpster, and so at the end of that, like everybody on that street throws their own garbage in there.
Okay.
So it's not like the dumpster guy. The what's it called? What do you call it? Garbage truck. Garbage man. He doesn't have to go very far. He just like picks that one up and then leaves. Yeah. So like, I think we should do that. We should have a dumpster at the end of the street rather than like picking up everybody individually.
You're absolutely right, but winter is a bastard down here. You know, hiking your bags of trash down that way.
I guess that's fair.
Yeah, I mean, I'm up for that too. It would be. I mean, we do that with the mailboxes here. Not in my neighborhood, but you know, you have your one centralized mailbox you can walk to. That makes more sense than a postman going to every door. That's mental.
Yeah, like, go get your own mail when you want to get it.
I have that here at my house. Like we have our own mailbox at the house. I'm like, what primitive shit is this? Like it's good.
Oh, you're still not on the boxes yet?
Yeah, and apparently they sent out a flyer saying they were going to do that, and this neighborhood protested it and won.
What?
Yeah, like, I don't know how they got one over on the post office, but they pulled it off. I apologize. Would you mind pausing it for just a moment? Back on board. Sorry about that. Or I shouldn't even acknowledge it, I guess, because you're just going to cut that out too. That means you're going to cut all this out too. This means that this is
well, probably not now.
Floating into the ether
now. I think it's hilarious.
Stupid. So, Mike, how'd you propose?
I got down on a knee and said, "Will you marry me?"
Okay, all right. I like getting all the details. Like guys are never willing to share that stuff because it's embarrassing.
I share it with like girls I work with. They all ask, and
because they all swoon and everything. But you're not going to share that on a podcast.
Yeah, I
don't keep messing with you on that
tell
one.
that story. That's for us. There's only two of us. It was for us.
I remember my brother talked about it, and he goes like,
talking to the mic.
Oh, sorry. My brother talked about it, and he's like, "Yeah, it was this. I was like really nervous. Like I wasn't in the right state of mind, so I just had to like kind of treat it like a job interview."
That's what your brother did, yeah.
Yeah. So he's like, I had to put my head out of it and act like it wasn't happening, and just like try to be a different person, and like, and then like his wife is overhearing it. She's like, "What the fuck are you telling them?" It's not something you tell people. Like, it's something you tell me.
Yeah. I mean, I guess like. I don't know. I wasn't super nervous, to be honest. It's not like
you knew. There's really nothing to be nervous about.
I think if you get to the point where you're going to ask someone to marry you, kind of know if they're going to say yes or not. Yeah. And if they don't, maybe
those rejection ones
asking.
those rejection ones are weird. You see those ones on YouTube and stuff of like a guy proposing at a basketball game and she ran out. Like,
oh, I remember. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and the guy's like, obviously he's doing that on like the third or fourth date or something.
Yeah,
like
a month in.
Why are you doing that?
Yeah.
Come on. It doesn't matter how wound up you are. Like, maybe take a step back and ask, like, hey, what are your thoughts on marriage or something first?
Yeah, no kidding.
And Brie even said, like, if I pulled that shit at a baseball game or something, she'd be like, yeah, I'm running out of there. I'm not doing that
later.
Shit. Yeah. Brie does not like attention at all. So, like, to have that happen to her, she'd be like, that'd be the opposite way to do it for me.
So that's why we talk about her on a podcast almost every week.
Well,
I mean, we don't talk about her, I guess. Her name comes up.
Yes.
And it's mostly about how she deals with you.
Yes. Yeah. And how. Yeah. Well, we're working on it together.
Yeah. Well, that's
working on dealing with me together.
We're working on dealing with me together. I like that. I saw this meme today that I thought was, I don't know if it's true, so someone could correct me on this, but it was talking about how when an octopus wants to, like, it's not like have sex, but like basically it rips its dick off and throws it at the female.
Yeah, I've done that.
Yeah, and the female like uses it to inseminate itself.
That's pretty cool.
And then it grows a new dick.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then like the meme was like, "How's that for saying like go fuck yourself?" Like, you know what I mean? Like it's the ultimate go fuck yourself. But I was like, man, is that actually like if that's the way nature works? Like, that's fucking crazy.
Octopi are not from this planet, man.
I agree.
They came here on a meteor, and they're something else.
They're super alien for sure.
They're pretty awesome.
Kate and I went to see the Meg.
Oh, did you?
Oh, yeah.
You went to see that in theaters?
We went to see the Meg.
That's how you see the Meg, I guess. It's up on my rip-off box, but...
We drove past a theater to go see it in a theater that had it in 3D. Like,
was it in English?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know that they dub over out there. What would they even dub it over into? What would the
No, we saw it here.
Oh, you saw it here?
Yeah, we saw it like...
Okay.
Yeah, like
I saw White Boy Rick last night.
White Boy Rick?
White Boy Rick. It's about a drug dealer in Detroit. It's...
Oh.
I've never heard of the story. My friend said he maybe it's the story of Highway Rick Ross, which I've never heard of. I've heard of a rapper named Rick Ross, but that's a black guy. This is a white kid, so I don't know.
There's two Rick Rosses?
Apparently, Rick Ross, the rapper, took that name because that's not his real name. He took that name from a guy named Highway Rick Ross.
Oh,
okay. And this movie was about a kid named White Boy Rick. I think his last name was like Schlag or something like that. So, I don't know. My friend Matt said, like, maybe it's about Highway Rick Ross, and we'll figure out, like, where the story goes.
It's not.
It's a well-acted movie, but I don't understand why they made it. It's a sad story. The whole thing is a sad story. It's a very bizarre story. Like, I'm surprised, like, any mainstream media company would want to pick it up.
Like it's just like, you just feel terrible the whole time?
You just feel, you don't understand. Like, is this... The whole time you're going like, is this a real story? This is crazy.
Is it based on
reality? It's based on a true story. And you're just like, there's no way an FBI agent would do this shit. Like, there's no way. And apparently all this stuff happened. You're like, what? Jesus. And they ended up sending like a 17-year-old kid to jail for 30 years for a nonviolent crime. For
wow.
Just dealing like, I think it was like...
Is he still in jail?
Yeah. Oh, no, he got out in 2016, I think, or something, 2014.
Fuck.
He was 47 years old, so he went to jail when he was
17.
Went to jail for 30 years for a nonviolent crime. He dealt... you know what? Fuck it. I'll just... Spoiler alert. I'll tell the story. The FBI gave him 4 kilos of cocaine to deal so that they could start pinpointing the houses and try to trace it back to where it's coming from and watch his competition, what they do and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Then there's a house shooting, stuff like that. So white boy Rick says, like, I'm out. I'm not doing this shit anymore. You guys are insane. Like, you're going to get me killed too. And the FBI...
And he's 17 when they do this.
Well, he was 15 when that happened. Like, the FBI approached a 15-year-old kid to do this shit.
Jesus.
Yeah, because they held his feet over the fire because his dad was dealing guns illegally. So they're like, we know your dad's dealing guns, so here's kilos of coke. We want you to deal these kilos of coke. We're going to monitor you, and you're going to have to report back to us every day, and then all this shit. So he did it all.
Wow.
And then finally he's like, I'm out. Like, you're going to get me killed. And then a couple of years later when he's 17, they're still monitoring him the whole time. But he's like, his family's broke. His sister's a junkie. His dad's down and out. And he's like, I got to get back into dealing cocaine again. It's the only way we ever had money, so I'm going to start doing it again. The FBI monitored him the whole time, basically out of spite, because he stopped being their informant.
He quit, yeah.
So they're like, okay, we got him? We got him? Okay, good. Go get him. Then they wrapped up all the charges of all the coke that they made him deal when he was like 15. They wrapped up all those charges in it, and there you go, jail for 30 years. So
wow.
He's the longest. No one's ever been in jail longer than him in the history of the state of Michigan for a nonviolent crime. He did 30 years.
Wow.
Age of 17 as a minor. He got 30 years in jail.
That is fucking crazy.
Yeah. And they took away the mandatory minimum when he was like, you were already in jail for 20 years. Mandatory minimums are those things that came out during the Reagan administration. Yeah. Where, like, for cocaine, you get, if it's over 600 grams or something, you get 20 years. If you have 600 grams, and that's not even anywhere near a kilo or something, as far as I understand. And then for weed, it was like 10 years. If you had like a pound of weed, 10 years. If you had more than like 10 grams of weed, 5 years. They're giving out crazy mandatory minimums. So even like in like North Dakota, where weed is now legal, there's people still serving like life sentences for drug charges that are now legal. They're still sitting on them.
Yeah, the United States is fucking crazy, man.
Oh, it's a prison complex.
Wow. I might check that. Is that on Netflix?
No, that was I went to the movies last night at 9:50 at night.
Oh, it's in the movie.
It's in the theaters right now. Yeah, White Boy Rick. It was either that or I want to see the Happy Time Murders.
I do want to see that.
Yeah, Matt didn't want to see it at all, so I'll have to.
I do want to see that. That would be pretty good to see.
And the new Queen movie, I'm dying to see that too. I think we'll get. We'll probably get a group together for that one. I know a couple of friends that want to see the.
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
Queen
the
movie.
Meg, you got to go into. You got to go into that. So like, you got to go in knowing the type of movie that it is. Mm-hmm. So it's Jason Statham, just being like the coolest guy.
But why is Statham such a tool? Like he's done two Guy Ritchie movies. And he's done 3 Guy Ritchie movies. No. He's done 3 Guy Ritchie movies.
Yeah.
So, like, doesn't he have the chops to, like, he's excellent in those movies. He's really, really good in them.
It's kind of a one-trick pony, though.
But he'd rather be like some just joke action star that ends up just getting dumb roles about shark movies and snake movies and...
I don't know. Maybe like being... Rather than being a bit part in one of those movies, he's making way more bank being like
and that could be
the lead role in a
and you probably only
mega shark movie.
And probably when you shoot something like The Meg, you're probably on set for a month. That's probably it. They shoot that whole
the whole
can of
thing's
garbage
like
in a month.
Green screened, like that. They spent the entire budget on CGI, guaranteed, because the script is trash.
Yeah. So the budget is on green screen and Statham and nothing else. There's probably no supporting actors at all either. Just all B actors everywhere else.
Oh, it's got Dwight from The Office in it.
Yeah, damn.
But I bet you he wanted like he's not raking in the roles.
Right? Yeah, for some reason he's a very talented guy, but I think he's just too damn ugly.
Yeah, and he's like he's kind of not typecast, but like he's known for one thing. You know what I mean? Like George Costanza didn't get many roles after that. It's just like you're George Costanza. At the same time, they don't need him as anything else.
I think he's done Broadway. I think Rainn Wilson's done a lot of projects. They fly under the radar because he does like
he played somebody a little different on this. Like he was a little bit different. But he was the only other big name in this for sure. There was I don't know if you ever watched Heroes. Did you ever watch that?
I didn't watch Heroes. No.
No. There's one of the guys from Heroes, I think, was on it. And that's it.
I think that's the thing about transitioning from TV to movies. Is when you watch something like The Office, we probably had like 8 seasons or something.
Yeah.
You've watched that character for so many hours. You can't exit that.
You can't see that person as somebody else.
When you see like De Niro do something for an hour and a half, you can see De Niro do something else for an hour and a half and buy it. But when I see like John Krasinski now in this movie, this other show called Jack Ryan.
Yeah.
Where he's like a CIA agent, basically, turned reluctant action star.
Yeah.
Or whatever, turned like secret agent, basically. It's just hard. The whole time I'm looking like, check it out old Halpert up there. Check out Jim Halpert.
I never really watched that version of The Office.
You never liked it. You didn't like the British one either, did you?
I like the British one.
Oh, yeah.
I like it a lot. I just had a hard time with that one. I couldn't. It was just like 9 people trying to out-idiot each other. Like they're just like.
Yeah, you've given me that before.
Yeah,
I think you're very wrong about it. It was they. I don't know. It was going like an improv class come alive. You know, it was. It was pretty. But
it was not that alive. It's just like oh my god!
You must have caught the wrong episode. Or
I want some substance.
There was some realism in it. I thought, like, there is, especially the season 2. It was still a realistic show. They decided, like, as the season went on, they just got really silly.
Yeah,
and just started blowing these characters up, and there was no realism in it at all. But it was still funny.
I still like substance even in some sort of comedy. Like, I know it sucks to have a moral to a story, but like I want that. I want something.
That Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. Have you seen any of that?
I watched some of that.
It's completely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like it's completely unrealistic, but the writing is so fast. The jokes are so fast.
That's Tina Fey, I think, that's writing that.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. No. I like Tina Fey. That was like 30 Rock. 30 Rock.
She was in it for a bit. She played a therapist. And yeah. Good.
30 Rock was like kind of ridiculous, but not quite there. Like
another one of those shows you watched evolve, where it started out to be like a realistic thing, like here's what it's like behind the scenes of Saturday Night Live.
Yeah,
and then it just went completely insane. Where Tracy Morgan had dog fighting rings and shit.
Yeah, that's true.
Stupid.
Yeah, like weirdo. They're like them playing a weird version of their own cousin, and yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
And then apparently Tracy Morgan's character on that show was based on Martin Lawrence.
Oh, really?
When Martin had his own show called Martin, I remember way back, it was completely... Martin would just show up like just high on crack, causing shit. He'd always have an entourage with him, always making crazy demands, causing shit. And then he'd be out on the freeway dancing in his underwear like later that night.
Oh, yeah, they did that with it. He was like wielding this lightsaber.
Yeah, so they did everything like that. And it was really based on that. They did a pretty good job of it. I can't imagine him being offended by it. You don't want a beer, man?
Nah, I'm all right, man. I feel like I'm getting cold. There's one. So this is my favorite part of. I want to bring this up because the scene in the Meg.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. That's all right. The one scene in the Meg that like, so this sharks fucking like they get real sciencey. It's actually a pretty sciencey movie. They find this megalodon in the trench, Mariana's Trench or something. Trench, and so they explain it kind of cool how this massive shark could be just hiding in this
hibernating or hiding.
Like they realize that the trench is actually deeper than they thought, and there's a layer of like hydrogen or something. So that's how they justify it, and it gets out, and now it's above ground, and so like it attacks this boat and destroys this boat, and so they're tracking it down in their own boat, and then they're like, well, we need to get this dart into the fucking or like a tracker or something into the fish, and they're like, but it already has a taste for boats, and so Jason, like they're like, we can't just drive up beside it and try to do it. It already has a taste for boats. So Jason Statham is just like,
I got this.
Puts on his wetsuit. He's like, oh, what? I'm such an idiot. Throws the thing over his shoulder and dives off the boat and just starts swimming towards the. Yeah, they're chucking chum in the water to try to like, chum in the water. Like, oh, we gotta get them around here. Like, it just
if they're on a boat and it's got a taste for boats, get out of here with the boat. Like, don't.
Yeah, no.
You can just leave it be. You don't have to mess with the thing at all.
I mean, part of it was kind of like they're like, we should call the like Coast Guard and like the whatever or all these like the Navy, whoever.
But the communications are down, right?
No, they call and they're like, they think we're crazy. We're talking about a prehistoric shark in the water. They think we're nuts. So they just like, I mean, it was like, okay, that's probably the way that would go. Like,
Yeah.
if I called up whoever it would be that you would call and said, there's a prehistoric megalodon shark in the water.
Yeah, I'd send a helicopter. Like, or maybe I'd just tell you, you're toast.
Yeah, you're
send a drone out or something. Okay, so how big is this thing, movie monster scale?
Oh, man.
Is it as big as Godzilla?
No. It's not that big. Like, it's
bigger than Jaws.
It's way bigger than Jaws, for sure.
Okay, so
like, it could swallow a person.
So
like,
it's as big as like a submarine?
Yeah, like a submarine size, I'd say.
So
and it ends up at this crazy beach.
So how about, like, is it as big as like an 18-wheeler then?
Yeah.
That's would be
probably bigger than that.
Bigger than that.
It's bigger than that,
That's
for
pretty
sure.
cool.
Yeah, it was a fun movie. Like, it was ridiculously stupid. Like, what's weird is that, like, Kate and I are laughing. Like, I'm like holding it in because the two of us are the only ones laughing in the theater. I'm like, how is nobody else finding this fucking hilarious? Like, that line was so
why you go.
bad.
Yeah, that's why you go to those movies. People don't realize that.
No, I think they're just like, oh,
people don't know
it's
what
intense.
Movies, man. I had someone try to tell me that Paranormal Activity were real movies. They were real documentaries. It's like, oh my god, it's scary. It's based on a true story, or it's like a real story. It's like they made a documentary and they set up the cameras and you see the ghost. You see the ghost at the end of the movie. You're like, oh, and she's like a 45-year-old woman. I'm like, what do you? Fuck, like it's hopeless. There's no talking her down from this already. Like,
yeah, like that they discovered ghosts. They're real, and that's the only movie that's talking about it.
Yeah. So there's people like that. There's two assholes in the movie theater last night when I go see White Boy Rick. Granted, it's a late night, but these assholes show up with blankets and slippers and jogging pants,
Wow.
And they sit down, and they're sitting behind me and Matt, and they fall asleep, and the guy is snoring wildly.
Oh, wow.
Wildly to the point where I take my shoe off and whack him in the foot, which he's in his socks, mind you. He doesn't have fucking shoes on his feet now. I whack him in his socked foot. He wakes up, and my friend next to me is like, what are you doing, man? I'm like, snoring.
Yeah.
Come here. If you're gonna fall asleep, that's on you. But you're not snoring and getting away with it.
Yeah.
So I whack him and he stops. And then luckily it was right around the end of the movie because if it happened again, I would have lost it on the guy.
I mean, bringing in the blankets, the jogging pants, the whatever. Like, I'm for it. I think that's a great idea. I'm actually kind of jealous I didn't do it myself.
No one's leaving the house on my account with jogging pants and slippers. That's disgusting. You're not gonna.
I would definitely.
You're not going to a public
slippers,
place.
Maybe, but.
If you were gonna walk to the driveway in your slippers and underpants or whatever, I understand. But you're not going to a public area in your jogging pants and slippers. No,
not slippers. I've worn shoes.
All that shit's disgusting. That's just come on. You're not wearing the pants that you probably whacked off in earlier today. It's just what are you doing? Just have some respect for the people around you. I don't care about your respect for yourself. Clearly, you've lost it.
I can't. I'm bringing jogging pants next time I come over here.
No, you're not.
Oh yeah,
the door's locked. Sit.
Yeah, no,
just coming in here like that.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely doing it.
I've never seen you in jogging pants, I don't think.
Oh, I got a pair. I got a pair of jogging pants I wear quite often.
I got them too, but I never wear them.
Comfy, man.
I just feel like a dickhead in them.
I think I'm at that point in my life. Like, I'm at that age, so I'm like, no, just...
Yeah, Patton Oswalt. I
want to be comfortable.
Patton Oswalt did a bit about it. Yeah, so my second album where I go off on people in jogging pants, and now I'm a dad, and all I wear is just milk-stained, Cheeto handprint jogging pants around, and I apologize to old me. And I apologize to all of you.
Yeah. Oh, big time, yeah.
Oh, this fucking black shit's getting into my ear canal.
Yeah, you're going to lose some hearing.
I'm already losing my hearing, man.
Yeah.
Stupid construction site jobs.
Do you wear earplugs?
If I'm doing something noisy, but if someone else is doing something noisy, I'm not putting in earplugs.
That's dumb.
Well, you can't. Like, first of all, for some reason, earplugs don't work in my ears. I don't have any wax in my ears. Like, I've never had a Q-tip. If I use a Q-tip, there's nothing on it.
Okay.
So these things don't stay in my ears. Earplugs just like I tuck them in.
You roll them up.
I do the whole thing. I've done the whole procedure. I roll them all up, get the whole thing in there, and just falls out like a limp penis.
That's it.
Every time. And they'll be sitting there and like some guy at work will be like, those aren't doing anything, I'm like, yeah, I know. And I'll smack it by my ear and smack it by my ear and that's it.
They just don't stay in.
They don't stay in. So I'll put on the big headphones or whatever, if they're available. Because when you got like a big nasty drill, they'll often have a set of headphones that's clamped onto it.
Yeah.
And those are what I'll put on. But
it's better than the alternate where it's like they go in and won't come out.
Well, yeah, but who's ever had that happen?
Oh, that's happened.
To you?
Well, T-Ron almost lost one.
Down his ear?
Yeah.
Really?
After practice at one time. Yeah, he almost lost one.
That's wicked.
And then also, one of our old managers, some of our old managers, he couldn't hear out of his ear, went to the doctor, and they were like, you have an earplug in there.
No way. Was it the drummer? Was it Darren?
No, it was a guy from before that.
That's awesome.
He lost an earplug in there, and he didn't remember the last time he put one in his ear. So it'd been there like a while. Wow.
I got a cinnamon heart down my ear once. I was in Whistler, we were wrestling, and my friend poured a bunch of, like, he won. He's winning the fight. He had my head pinned down and just took a bunch of cinnamon hearts, threw them at my face, and then they were in my ear. I'm like, they're in my ear. And he's like, oh, yeah. And just took his palm and just, like, crammed him in my ear because they burn, right? And it's in my ear. And I'm like, And I called the hospital. I'm like, what do I do? I called 911 and asked to put me through to poison control because I'm like, I don't know maybe this is actually that bad.
Yeah.
Put me through to poison control. Poison control was like, well, maybe you're just an idiot and you should not call important phones like this. I'm like, no, I'm serious. I'm actually concerned. Like, what should I do? And they're like, I don't know. Take a shower. Shut up. Click. I'm like, okay. Damn. All right. So I just like let it roll. And it's like, man, my ear's really uncomfortable. Like, really got a bad infection. I maybe happened in there. And sure enough, I got an ear infection. I had to go get like drops for it.
Because you can get like the rinse, like with the needle.
That's what I didn't know. Like, they didn't recommend that on the phone. So I just like waited for my ear infection to kick in. And then I went to a doctor and they're like, yeah, you have a severe ear infection. What happened? I'm like, I got a cinnamon heart in my ear. They're like, well, you must be an idiot. I'm like, well, at least I took the right measures and called. And they're like, they didn't tell you what to do? And they're like, no, they just like called me an idiot and like lectured me, but they didn't give me any advice. And he's like, that sucks. Sorry, bud. I'm like, yeah. So how long till this heal? He's like, it should be like 4 weeks. Put the drops in. Yeah, great.
And meanwhile, he's just like, you should have washed that out. You should have rinsed that out.
They should have done something. Yeah. Well, they said, like, get in the shower. So that's what they said. Like, get in the shower and stop being an idiot. I'm like, yeah, okay, thanks. But, like, that doesn't... Yeah. Is that really a cure-all?
I remember when I was a kid, I had a friend who lost a Smartie up his nose, and his parents freaked out. He stuck a Smartie...
There's nothing to worry about.
Yeah, stuck a Smartie up his nose, and...
Because he just, like, if he inhales hard enough, it probably went down his throat anyway.
Like, yeah, exactly. Like, where's it going to go? It's either going to come out the one side or go back the other way.
Yeah.
So I just remember, like, he freaked out, went to his parents freaked out, and then I had to go home. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, Mike, go home. We're going to take him to the hospital.
I had a friend growing up, and his older brother drank 1.5 liters of turpentine.
Whoa. That's poison control.
Yeah. So they had poison control on the phone, and the dad is down there, like, mom's on the phone, poison control. And dad's got him over the bar, like pushing on his like the lower back, trying to get him to barf it out.
Wow!
And the mom's like, "Yeah, we're trying to get him to barf it out right now." And the person's looking up there because they're looking through the books back then. It wasn't the internet.
Yeah.
Finally, they find like, "Don't make him barf! Don't make him barf!" Because that'll just apparently it mixes with like just back through your esophagus again, and all the stomach acid will just destroy everything you got.
Wow!
Rip everything apart. So they had to rip him down to the hospital and fill him full of charcoal or whatever. And,
yeah.
Really stupid. But he was behind his parents' bar and thought he was drinking the booze back there. And he was like 12 years old.
What a fucking idiot.
Yeah. Did we talk in length about the apocalyptic thing? Do we need to go back on that?
I mean, yeah, we didn't talk about it really much at all.
Okay.
I think we do need to flesh that idea out, and then we should maybe have a guest when we do it. I think that's probably the best way. If anyone has any ideas of how to play this as a game, I think that's a good call. If we can figure it out, where I think being like setting up some sort of like this is my bunker. This is how I'm going to survive an apocalypse.
Maybe it'll be like some kind of, we need a random generator.
Yeah.
Right. So we got to be like, okay, we'll spin the weather wheel. We'll spin this wheel, terrain, and then everything. Be like, okay, here's a scenario. This time. How you get out of it. Problem
is it like a bacteria that kills people?
And where are you located?
Zombies? Yeah. Is it like? Yeah,
I know how to solve every one of them.
Rabid fuck.
That's the problem.
So what's your?
I'm gonna shoot all of them down. It's gonna go north. That's it. I'm going north.
Well, I'm going to come up with one that doesn't work.
The zombies freeze. The viruses don't work up there. I'm going north. We're in Canada. See, that's the thing. It's easy. So we have to change the location. We're like, well, you're starting in Brazil this time. So like, okay, then
Yeah.
If I'm in Canada every time, it's like, well, yeah, I'm getting a car, I'm going north.
Yeah, but that's still a crapshoot. You might not get there before somebody fucking horde of zombies.
Still the best way. Still the best way to get.
I mean, that's my plan.
Yeah. It's the least populated area in like the world.
Even just north. Even if I just got to my cottage, I'd be better off than being around here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You got all the natural resources up there.
Yeah.
Your lake's not going to be polluted or nothing. And then if things get nasty up there, you got a boat. You barrel north.
Yeah.
So that's all you got to do. So we have to change the locations. Have to start in Brazil or India or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's got to be things that could happen. Like someone could bust out in some sort of EMP where like you can't even start a car.
Yeah, the War of the Worlds, they had that, right?
Yeah.
They blew all the solenoid valves in every car.
Yeah.
Yep. Tom Cruise replaced the solenoid valve and got a van going. That was a great movie. The Tom Cruise War of the Worlds.
That was good.
Fantastic movie. Because there was all kinds of plot.
It's pretty crazy that was the origin of that story.
Have you seen the original?
What they made original movie about
Yeah, it was in like the 50s.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And the ships are all the same shape and everything. So they kept true to form in one sense, and but they went in the right direction. But the ending in the 1950s movie was the same as the ending in the Tom Cruise movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was disease that got them in the end because it was hopeless. Humanity was defeated, but disease killed the aliens.
Yeah, with the common cold.
Yeah.
Straight. Yeah, that was a good story. I remember my buddy's parents, same guy who got the Smartie up his nose. His parents had a vinyl record of
the Orson Welles thing,
of the reading of it on the radio.
Oh, that's awesome!
And I remember we listened to it. I don't remember everything that happened, but I just remember being like, "Wow, this is like."
People believed this hard.
People believed it. People were jumping out like office windows and stuff.
Really?
Yeah, dude. You never heard about that?
I didn't know people were committing suicide over it.
People were committing suicide. Like, this is the end of the world.
Holy shit!
I'm out. Yeah, that was like.
Do I have the name right? Was it Orson Welles?
I don't know.
No, I can be blown that hard.
I don't know enough about it to. I know Orson Welles wrote sci-fi.
Okay, well that should do that. Yeah, because I'm worried I got I'm referring to like Mark Twain or something right now for all I know.
Well, he's also a fictional writer.
Was Mark Twain a fiction writer?
Yeah.
I guess, okay, yeah, fiction is fiction. Okay, yeah, I gotta remember when I think of fiction, I think of like sci-fi and shit like that. Mark Twain,
science fiction.
He would write about riverboats and stuff.
Huckleberry Finn.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Riverboats. Idiot. So Mark Twain wrote Huck Finn?
I think so. Don't quote me on that. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, that's a funny one if you're wrong on that.
I'm pretty sure. I mean,
I don't think so. I don't think you wrote Huck Finn.
I think he did.
We'll both get it. That's the thing. We'll both get an idiot award for this one. Are you going to look it up right now?
I'm going to look it up right now.
Okay. Oh, you're going to do Siri.
Who wrote Huckleberry Finn? Mark Twain created Huckleberry Finn.
Yeah? All right, you got me, goddammit.
Yeah.
Fuck. All right, well, that's
his real name was Samuel Langhorne Clemens.
Yeah, apparently Mark Twain was like a very funny name to have at that point.
Oh, really? That was comedy?
Something comical about him being called Mark Twain that I don't understand.
The Adventures of Tom Sawyer.
Okay, so we did Tom Sawyer, we did all that stuff.
The sequel, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn.
I can't, okay.
Who wrote War of the Worlds?
H.G. Wells wrote the War of the Worlds in 1898.
H.G. Wells.
So who did the narration of it? Was it?
I don't know.
Orson Welles. Orson H.G. Wells? No?
I don't know. I don't even know who Orson Welles is. H.G. Wells was probably who I was thinking of, who wrote The Time Machine.
Okay.
You gotta take that?
No, I don't. I told him, like, call Bree. People are calling me like crazy here because they're trying to make plans for tonight.
We're almost done.
Are we?
Yeah.
Oh, that was quick. What are we at? That's not 2 hours, is it?
No, we're an hour and 15 minutes.
So why does it say 02:14?
Starts at 1. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Let her have it. That's always thrown me off.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So we're an hour 15?
Yeah.
Wrap it up. What else we got to do? Is there
Well,
anything we need to discuss?
I was curious about we may cut this.
Yeah.
I was curious as to why you called me or like take your time.
Oh, okay, yeah. Stupid. Yeah, again, a recurring sponsor for this show is going to be digestive upset. Severe digestive upset. This is so fucking stupid. I can't believe what I did.
What'd you do?
I did it to spite myself. I don't know what was wrong with me. I pour a bowl of Cheerios. I get the milk out. I have 3 bags of milk. They're a week old. I cut it open. I pour it on my Cheerios. It is sour. It's gone bad.
Rancid.
It's not really that bad. It's not rancid. It's by no means rancid, but it is definitely turned.
Okay.
It's thick.
Yeah.
Right? It's kind of got the odd chunk. but it doesn't smell and it doesn't taste bad. Right?
Why would you bother?
Because I was already 2 spoonfuls in when I realized.
Okay.
So I looked at the Cheerios and went, and I actually screamed, fuck! I was so mad about it.
This happens to you a lot.
Because something's going on. I think my fridge isn't doing its job or something.
Yeah, no, that's what it sounds like, yeah.
So I'm just like, you know what? Fuck this. I eat it anyway.
You're an
I
idiot.
eat the whole bowl anyway. And then when I started to get to the very bottom, I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have done this. And it's just thick and it's just curdles. And I'm just like, oh, I've done it now.
Did you chug it?
No, I dumped it down the sink.
Yeah.
But that was a whole bowl in. And I don't have I have big fuck off bowls here. Like I ate a good liter of this milk, so.
I like how you ate it, not drank.
I ate it. Yeah, I ate it like a bag of cheese curds. Stupid fucking moron.
So that's why you called me and said, take your time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're also sponsored by Bush Beer.
Oh, yeah, really?
Bush Beer. They asked me to put their new motto out. The new motto for Bush Beer.
What's the motto?
I don't know. My buddy left some cans here.
To go along with.
And then their second one, there's who brought fucking Bush?
Yeah, brought to you by, who brought Bush?
Bush. Brought to you by Bush. Who brought fucking Bush? I don't know. My buddy left some here. Can I have a Bush? Yeah, I don't know. My buddy left. Yeah, go ahead.
All right, man.
I don't know. Clean the top off first.
Might want to pour that in a glass.
Yeah, you want to pour that in a glass, but I don't know where that can's been.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, yeah, fuck this. Let's call it a night.
Yeah, everyone's getting antsy here. I'm getting a lot of phone calls. I'm getting the ladies upstairs jumping at us here. So
that's all good. Well,
congratulations on your engagement, Michael.
Thanks, brother.
We're going to keep that mostly private, I guess. Then I was going to buzz you about questions on it, but I thought you might reject most of it.
I mean, I would tell it. I should probably check with the other half before I tell that.
The other half. It's not the better half. I like how you're keeping things totally separate.
We're equals.
We're equals, yeah. That's nice. Fair charmer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm Justin McDonald.
And I'm Mike Smith.
And this is never going to work.